Nothing good will come out of anything like that. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I know white is boring, but okay. Can you just do Can you do 5 pips? Hmm. Um. Jesus. Should be the same link. Go here. No. I just It's fine. Yay. Lindsay, say something in chat when you can hear me. Mm. 30. Yay. Okay. So, Lindsay, do you have a Google account? If you don't, it's okay. But if you do, and so if you have a Google account, and if you have a microphone, like if you're using a laptop, I should be able to bring you into the Hangout so that we can actually talk to each other instead of just chatting. If you don't, we can chat. Okay, well, we'll try this and see what happens. If the connection really is slow, you'll see an option to turn your video off. And that will basically make it so that you're just sharing voice data. And it should work. And also, the process of just going through all the steps to get into the Hangout, it takes a while. It's slow to react sometimes. So just be patient with it. If anything happens, you can use the same link to get back into the call. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring you into the Hangout now. Oh, we're going to... Green is almost too late. It's the least readable of the four. Yeah, I know. Look at how unreadable that is. That's at least readable. It's not working. I don't know if she's coming back in. I hate noise. It can't be though, because you don't have the space for it. What people are saying. I wonder if this will be better. Okay. Lindsay, let me know when you're back in and you can hear me. Yeah, sometimes it works better on the second try. Okay, do you want to give it one more try? Sometimes whatever keeps it from installing on the first try works on the second try. And then if that doesn't work, then we can just revert back to chat. If it does work, oh, you did run through it a second time. But if I invite you, I wonder if it will pull you into the Hangout, or do you think that it won't work, that it'll fail no matter what? Yeah, if I need to look at your screen, that's how you would do video. Okay, so I'm gonna invite you one more time. Just be patient and see if it feels, yeah, if it feels like it's hanging up, don't try to let it do its thing. Because sometimes it just hangs for a while and then finally things will happen. Because it has to initialize devices in your computer. And sometimes that is time consuming. Okay, all right, here we go. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe. Yes. No. That looks so much better. Oh man. All right. Looks like it's not going to work. You think, Lindsay? It's not the end of the world. Okay. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me your site address, and I can take a look at it, and we can see, and then you can tell me what your issues are, and I can just talk you through them, and you can just chat me in the right direction. Okay. Share. Okay, so here's your site. So why don't you tell me about what you'd like to tackle first? And then if you don't have something in mind, I can just... Okay. All right, so there are two main ways that you're going to be able to edit stuff on your site. One is if you're on a particular page, like say we're on your history page, and there's really nothing on there yet, so you want to edit the stuff that's on that page. Once you're logged in, you'll see this little edit link at the top. And let me blow this up to you so I can make sure that you're seeing it. You can edit a page that way. If you click on it, it'll go to what's called the back end. I should also note that I'm logged in as an administrator. Oh, can we both be on there at the same time? So no, only one person can edit any one page at the same time. There are things that we could do, like you could be editing another page and see the same functions, but basically they'll lock everybody out but one person. That way they're not stepping on each other's toes. You can also just have me slow down. I know it's sometimes better to learn if you can go through the motions yourself. Anyway, I was saying earlier that you'll that your WordPress is a lot more streamlined than mine. Mine has all the administrator options and has notifications and stuff that you don't need to worry about. So there are two different ways that you can edit pages. The most versatile way is using our Divi page builder, and it works on a series of rows, columns, and modules. So you can put a new section in to make a new row, and then you can choose how many columns you want to give it. So if you want 3 columns, you do that. And then you can choose what kind of module you'd like to put in there. And there are a lot of choices, but you know, some of the basic ones, text module if you want to put in text, image module if you want to put in a picture, and you can play around with some of the other ones. If you want to put in a picture gallery, there's all kinds of stuff. Okay. You also don't have to use the Divi builder. I should mention that you can use the default editor. I'm going to change this, but and so the default editor just looks like you're using Word. And so for pages that are mainly just text and doesn't need a lot of organization, you can just use the default editor. I'll show you this little tip. If you hit this little toggle toolbar, it'll actually give you more of the kind of Microsoft Word tools that you're used to using. And so, you know, you make your choices, and when you're ready to preview them, you hit preview. And that'll open up a new tab where we can see what I just did there. There are some pages that you'll definitely want to use the page builder for, and some that if you want to change, you'll have to use the page builder. One of the things that I notice is kind of off on your site is your footer. And that footer is just another page on your site. But to get to it, you have to go to under pages up here where it says all pages. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to save those changes. If you want to edit your footer, you just find the page called footer, which is right here, and then you can edit it. And then one of the things I noticed right away is you have this extra map and text over here. It's pretty easy just to delete those. And now if we preview, you'll see that they're gone from that side. But you can also change things here if you want to change the text. If you want to add sections. You don't have any events on your site yet. That's why upcoming events is empty. I do highly recommend the events calendar that comes with Aboundant. And to start making events, it's pretty easy. You can just click up here and you can say new event, or you can come over here to events and say add new. You can do recurring events. So, oh, you want to map to both churches. Okay. Did I just change your? All right. So this is interesting. So I have had people solve this problem before. I'm trying to think of the best way to organize your site around having those two those two maps are the two locations. So a lot of times, if you have two parishes, so you might want to put parish 1 here and parish 2 there. Or you could have a 2-column homepage, and in one column it lists all the stuff for one parish, and in the other column it lists all the stuff for the other parish. Your regional parish, you just have one name. You're the South Louisa County United Methodist Parish, but that parish has two charges in it. So you actually do have a title that you share. I would actually think about putting your maps right here. Put map 1 here, map 2 here, and then put worship times for 1 here, worship times for 1 here. And then if you have events or posts that relate to those two parishes, you can put them underneath that. I'm going to help you do that right now because it's complicated. So I'm going to edit the home page. Okay, current you have the full width slider, which you can choose to keep. But essentially, I'm just going to add a new section. I'm going to make it 2 columns. I'm going to start out by putting a text column in the top so that we can put the title of the church. Okay. And then I'm going to make it a heading 3 so that it's nice and big so that people can see it. And that's this text box here. Then I'm going to insert another module. I'm going to insert a map. And you could rearrange these. You could have the map be on the bottom. Yeah, actually, you could do it this way. You could do text, do worship times and invitation. You could do there. And then insert module, map. And then I'll just put, oh, crud. I'm already staring you wrong. Okay. So I forgot how advanced the map module is. So you can actually have 2 locations on one map in the map module. So you could keep it in the footer, although I do like the idea of having 2, kind of an introduction to parish 1 and parish 2, and then maybe have a picture of each one here. Image. Why am I looking past you? Let's just see what you have up here already that I could just pull from. All right. So, you can do this in your footer, or you can do it here. You can actually have one You can choose to have 2 separate maps, or you can choose to have one map with 2 point pins in it. And so why don't you go ahead and give me the address of each church if you know it off the top of your head. Otherwise, I can make them up. Or I could just show you and I could let you try to figure it out later. So, okay. I hate it that it doesn't let me cut. It doesn't let me cut and paste out of our chat. Unfortunately, I have to type in everything. 407 Second Street, Oakville, Iowa. Oh, I'm putting that in the title. Let's change that. X. 52646. And then we'll give it the title of Oakville UMC. And then you could actually put more information down here if you wanted. But basically, I created that point, and now I'm going to create another point for Morning Sun Centenary UMC. And then it helps to have an address that kind of centers the two, that's somewhere in between them. But for right now, we can just use one of the addresses. And so we'll preview this and see if it worked the way that we hope it will. So you have a picture for church 1, a picture for church 2. You could put their worship times, and then you can put their addresses, and then you could choose to have one map with 2 points on it that people can interact with. You could also just do the one map could still be the footer map, and this map could have 2 points on it. You could choose to put the map first before the images so that people kind of know what the deal is. So for all your posts down here, you don't have to use news. You don't have to have news posts, blog posts, or sermon posts. But if you did, you'd probably want to add a category for each church. And I can show you how to do that. And then in addition to having the category news for a news post, you would put, church A as the other category, just so people knew that this news post was about church A. And this blog post was about church B. All right, I'm gonna save this so that you can work with it. And I'm gonna show you what I just said about the categories. By the way, understanding posts is usually throws a lot of people for a loop. And newsfeed, you know, it's just kind of how think about how Facebook has a newsfeed and it always shows the newest stuff on the top. Okay. Yeah, and then posts are just timely. So if you have a new piece of information you want to share, you just make a new post. You don't need to edit the old post. It'll just get pushed down in the newsfeed, just like on Facebook. All right, so if you want to add a new category, you can do it as you're making the post, but there's also this post categories, which will let you, it'll give you access to all your posts. Right now, you just have 3 different types of categories: blogs, news, and sermons. And then on your home page, this actually isn't showing a single post. This is a feed. So if you made a new post and gave it the category news, it would show up at the top here, and it would push the one that's currently there underneath it. And the same for all of these. And so we want to add 2 new categories, one for each church, since you have 2 parishes. So we'll do one category called Morning Sun Centenary. And you can come back and add a description for it if you want to later. And then we'll have another category called Oakville. One has such a short name and the other has such a long name. So say you have a piece of news. Say you want to announce. Okay. Do you do a newsletter every month, Lindsay? And is it in a PDF format? And is it for both churches or is it just for one church? It was 3 different questions. This is why talking would be good, because then you could easily answer. But we'll figure that out later. You have the option of just making a post and putting that month's newsletter in the post. Just one newsletter per post. Okay. Yeah, no, I know. I asked you several questions. I maybe should have just slowed it down to one. Okay, so you have a domain that needs to be set up. I'll link the support post for that so you know what to do with when the time comes. And we can help you with it. And GoDaddy has pretty good customer service, so they can also help. So that answers that question. MailChimp, I think we have a post for that too, but let me see. I thought we did. All right. I'll show you where to enter your MailChimp information on your site. So it's in Divi settings in the theme options. And then in the main, the general options, if you scroll down, it asks you for this MailChimp API key. You'll need to enter that. And it gives you a handy link that helps you create it. Cool. Once your MailChimp API key is in there, you can enter a sign-up form for your mailing list anywhere on the site, and for any mailing list you create. So if you create 2 separate mailing lists, one for each church, you'll get to choose which one to use. And the module that you'll use, and I'm back in your footer. So if you put your map, well, I'll just do it here. So the module that you're going to use to put a sign-up form is the one, nope, not contact form. Well, you're an idiot. All right. It's the email opt-in form. And so once your MailChimp is set up, you'll get to select which list you want the people are signing up for, but it's not set up, so you don't see any lists here. And then you have some options, but basically that'll drop the sign up list, and you can have, like I said, you can have a separate one for each church. But that'll drop that sign up form right into your site. And then Divi also has help and support. So I'm just going to Google Divi MailChimp, and then the email opt-in module documentation. Here's all the instructions I just gave you. All right, let's see. Okay, so let me make a quick note about how you handle the newsletter. So your time is probably valuable, and you may not want to duplicate the work that you've done in your newsletter, in which case you'll just want to create a post. So add new post, and you'll call it something like newsletter for March. I guess in your case, you'll also list the church. And then down here, you'll hit add media. And then this is where you can upload your PDF and insert it into the post. Then you'll want to give it the category news, and then whatever church it relates to. And you may also want to have a few notes about it here, what have you. And then that's it. The next month, you'll want to create a new post for that newsletter. So that's kind of one way to do it. The other way to do it, the reason why people are getting away from using PDF newsletters is because the news is often more timely than a monthly newsletter. And so anytime you have one announcement to make, like one piece that might be in that newsletter, you can create a post just for that. And you can put all the details about that event or need in that post, and you can create that post and put it in your newsfeed. That would be the other way to do it. What questions do you have for me? I know this is a lot of information. By the way, last week was kind of an aberration. We do this every week, and there's usually 1 to 3 people on the call. So you can come back as many times as it takes to get your stuff figured out, and that's worked really well for a lot of other people. So I recommend that you do that. I like the fact that you found a square logo for your sidebar menu. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Okay, so using the page builder and creating posts and page, that's one place where you make major changes to your site. The other place is the theme customizer, which is right here. You can get to it from your admin bar up here on the top, or you can get to it from the back end. Cool. The theme customizer lets you change the overall look and feel of your site. So if you wanted to choose a different font, if you wanted to choose different colors, if you wanted to have different styles, anything to do with the way that your header is styled is up here. So if you wanted to, for instance, add a background color like that to your primary menu bar, you could do so there.